Whoa, broadcasting from the past. Whoa. No. Um, Hi, folks. Welcome to Hitting the Mark with Harry and Mark. We're two idiots who like to talk about things we have no idea what we're talking about. I'm joined by my wonderful co host, Harry.
Hello.
I am Mark. If you're wondering why this sounds like an AM radio talk show or radio talk thing, it's because I forgot my headset.
Hmm.
I will never make this mistake again. And not that it matters because my headset is still fucking getting shit on by a 12-year-old in Modern Warfare quality. But I don't know. Maybe thinking about, doing the Rush Limbaugh, late fucker, getting a nice big golden mic and just fucking strapping it to my shoulder and talking as I fucking pace around the room thinking of things to say.
Hmm.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Anyway, apologies aside, folks, this has been a wonderful, wonderful set of times. We have the first female black Supreme Court Judge, Ketanji Jackson Brown,
Woo!
who a shitload of Republicans walked out of the room on. Okay, bitch. Um, a senior Trump aide, I believe, was convicted of pedophilia. So that's funny, because they're like, we don't like pedophiles, and this judge is a CRT pedophile, and then just like, oh, hey, I'm a pedophile. Oh, no, what? No, no. We can't, no. How dare the Democrats make you a pedophile? Anyway, fun times. There's a shitload of stuff. Oh, Amazon unionization, Starbucks unionization. It's
Hmm.
great. It's great. Man, I love it. So good. I'm trying to think of stuff that I had off the cuff of my ass that I was thinking of saying, and I
Cuff of
wanted
my
to do like
ass.
a little like news thing, but like not good with like what's good news.
Right.
So I'm just gonna say random shit before we get to our weeks.
Okay.
And speaking of the devil, and it shall appear because you've called its name, and it appeared because you called its name, because it appeared. How was your week, Harry?
My week, a little more hectic than usual at work. Uh, had, I believe I said, two technicians left the company the week
Ugh.
before. Um, and then this week
I wish I
on
could give people unions. They're just lazy.
And this week, on Monday, another technician just was like, "Yo, I'm not coming to work. Here's my keys," and then he left. And then I was like, so when I came in on Tuesday, my boss was like, "Okay, guess what? We're down another tech," and I'm like, "Oh, okay." So
um,
yeah, that. So work's going.
I wouldn't feel bad normally
Mhm.
if you weren't like the human plunger at that place,
Mhm.
and like every other like piece of equipment just breaks or just disappears, and
Yeah.
they just turn to you, the trusty plunger, and just fucking like violently jam you into the toilet to fix everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do what I do. Like I work for 8 hours. I go in, do my work, and go out. And that's as far as I go. I could definitely say an extra 2, 3, 4 hours of overtime, and you know get as much work done as possible, and have the property looking nice and everything. But not gonna do that.
They
Company
don't
pays me.
deserve you here.
The company pays me well, um, but definitely not good enough
Not
for
that much.
not
Yeah.
that much. Like
They pay
I'm
you well to do the job, not to put a smile on.
exactly
Ask
like
for more.
basically they pay me enough where I'm not going to be asking for more money. You know what I mean?
Motherfuckers should always be asking for more.
No. Because,
Oh,
well, the thing is, they give me a yearly raise.
oh fuck.
So they give me a yearly raise, and I'm grateful for that, right? A lot of places don't. Uh, um, but a lot of my coworkers are being underpaid
Mm-hmm.
for their positions, and I'm like, I would ask for more money. Like I tell my and I'm sure everyone at work would not be happy, but I tell my coworkers, dude, if you find a place that is paying you more, you go for it, dude. There's no reason for you not to. Um,
Absolutely.
like we've had for our positions, um, people have just gotten the position, like, okay, here's your starting wage, and they're like, oh yeah, no, not taking it. And they would just not show to work. They just like their first day of work, they wouldn't show up. They'd, like, oh, another thing, this week on Monday, we're supposed to have two technicians like uh, start, didn't show up. And same thing with like previous uh technicians that were supposed to start, they never showed up. They just, and to me, it's just, it's not paying well. It's just not a well paying job. Like the amount they're offering for what the position is, basically trash all day,
Mhm.
like just pulling dumpsters, dumping dumpsters, cleaning around the dumpsters, and then like cleaning around the property, going to the garage, cleaning trash. Like one, that's already just one of the, you know what I mean? Like no one wants to deal with trash, right?
That's the
Two,
kind of job where that seems like, hey, you know what? If I invest a little bit more money in, I'm sure I could get someone
mhm,
to do that, or like two or three people. Pay him, you know what? I'll pay him above board because you know
yeah,
what? That is a job that people are always going to bitch and moan about, but I'm
yeah.
still going to pay
Mhm.
because it's good money.
Yeah, like that's why I said like I'm getting paid what I should be getting paid. Like in my position, what I get paid is a good amount. Like I can't see any other uh like person who is looking for a job like mine to say no to what I'm getting paid. No one
Hey
will get
Harry,
paid. What?
you were unmarried,
Hmm.
knocking on wood, and you were getting paid that amount. Could you live on your own?
Uh, yes.
Don't fucking lie to me. I'm not. Don't fucking scrape
It
moss
it
off the ground
depends in the area. Like, would I be able to live in Walnut Creek? Probably not. But
where you work.
where I work, no.
Then no, you ain't getting paid fair,
Well, no,
buddy.
no, 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 no. But remember, my company, like the apartments there are like fancy, so they're worth a lot more to live
Harry,
in.
doesn't
Especially,
it irk you that you can't even work in the place that you work,
look,
live? Shit, fuck.
I look, I agree. You're not wrong. You're not wrong about that. But
No, I know. I'm just
I
being a
I
fat
I could
boo boo.
afford to possibly maybe down the road, further away from the BART station, right? Um,
Hmm.
not in Walnut Creek, possibly. I'd probably be able to find a place where I can live, but definitely not there. And also, the company does offer me 20% off rent, so
Oh
so
my.
maybe there's a chance if I get like if I go to like a sister property that's cheaper.
Hmm.
But there's that. So, anyways,
I get you.
the
I
the
hear you.
the positions don't pay well. Uh,
Yeah.
I've always said they should pay more. Um, that's the whole reason why we lose employees in the first place because they want more money. The company says no, and they leave, and then they expect the next person to come up to get paid the same way and be okay with it. We haven't maintained a technician since last summer. We just consistently
Mm.
have either not had a technician or a technician will come in for like a couple months and then leave. Like that's how it works. Like, and then or they don't show up, right? Like, and we don't have a technician. That's how it's been since last summer. It's almost been a year since we had a consistent like technician on site. And and the last technician was working for the company for 12 years. And there's like, I want more money. And they're like, nope. Okay, well, this company's offering more money. Like, oh, well, what if you offer you like not what you want, but maybe $1 more? Like,
Oh yeah, let me
no.
think about.
Yeah, like, what? No, I'm going with the one where it gives me more money. Like a lot more money, not just $1 more than what I have. Like, no,
Mm-hmm.
bye. And they left, and it's the same rotating door. It's just like, dude, like people see the job, people see the pay, and say, I can get paid more elsewhere with less work.
Mm.
You know, so, but that's what I've been dealing with at work. Outside
Yeah.
of work, anime, video games. I'm really getting into Warhammer. Um, I finally played a different faction other than what I'm playing with you, and what I usually play as the Bears. Uh, I started
Oh, the Keys
playing.
Lab in the cafe. What
Yeah,
did you play? Who did you play? You
I'm.
played the demon.
I did. I played the corn something. I don't know what it's called, but
Mm.
I saw
Oh,
a Ved
you.
I saw a Ved's gameplay of it, and I was like, oh, dude. So basically, you sack all the settlements except for the capital, and you take over the capital, and you move on. And over time, there's a percentage chance that one of those raised settlements will be occupied by your people.
Ooh.
Yeah. But
Oh, that's kind of cool.
the downside is you're a demon and everyone hates you. So you're always
Yeah,
fighting
fucking.
people. But I thought that was cool. Like, oh, I could do that. And I'm playing a solo campaign on very easy, and it's a lot of fun. And then the other night,
Yeah, I like that a little bit more than Stellaris too.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I,
um,
I I didn't quite get the chance to get into Stellaris, but I do like this a little bit more. I'd love to go back to it, but this is definitely enjoyable.
mm-hmm, and so the other night I started a very hard campaign with a ved. Um, let's just say it is very hard. My
Oh, you're
goodness,
getting fucking wrecked.
dude, I am getting a not like Aved's advices fight every battle, because if you don't, like the computer, because it thinks it's saying it's in very hard, you're not gonna have a good time. Like you're gonna lose a lot of troops. And I'm like, okay. So like
You're
he was
gonna
right
have a
though.
bad time, bud.
So like it's funny because like most of the fights they say, oh, you're gonna lose, and so I would fight the battle, and that's another thing that I like, that I'm fighting the battles and I'm actually learning the mechanics of fighting the battles, and that's something that I think I told you, where I'm just I have a hard time with that because there's just too many things happening. I'm like, oh god,
A lot of
so
shit, dude, that you have to micromanage.
yeah, so I'm finally getting like it really got me there where I'm getting you know getting the issue, doing things now. So, but the fighting the battles, I'm actually winning more than when I was like auto resolving or whatever. I was just losing troops, and I was like, and Yvette was like, no, you have to, on very hard, you have to fight, because if you don't, the 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 AI is just gonna think, oh yeah, you would totally lose all these troops, but it's like you fight it out, like the AI is pretty stupid, and you can like do maneuvers and all this other
You can
stuff and
game them.
outclaim. Yeah, exactly. So and it's been working out. So I've been fighting more battles. I'm still in a really bad position on that campaign because uh um yeah, I was getting my ass beat. So it took me a while to get to where I want to be at. And the other thing too is everyone hates me because I'm a demon. So I had to like
Like, as you fucking deserve.
yeah, so I had to like uh like make peace treaty, or like in my easy mode campaign, people kept trying to like, ooh, peace treaty, and I was like, no, fuck you, you're all gonna die. But in this zone, they're like, peace treaty. I'm like, yes, please, please don't kill me. Uh, yeah, that was one of yeah. No, I'm gonna. So right now, Aved's carrying that campaign hard. So I'm just doing my best not to die. Um, that's what I'm
Cathay
doing.
will cleanse you.
Yeah. So hopefully that works out. Um, and yeah. So Warhammer 3, Ship Girls,
You
and that's it.
fucking god damn
Yeah.
it.
It's a like it's fun. It's fun, right? It keeps me preoccupied.
I fucking can't with you.
Other than that,
You know when you
that's
go on Twitter and you fucking you see that fucking first year fucking political philosophy class major, and they're like, "Oh, capitalism is so expanded. They have tiny little games that waste your time on purpose." No, never, never. Okay, well that's that.
yeah.
And I'm totally not taking a political philosophy class this semester and totally fucking outed myself. God damn it.
Next year.
Well, I'm not learning that, but I thought it was funny. No, no,
Hmm?
no. I know that you've been liking it, and I'm sorry that I did not follow in your footsteps this time.
No, it's perfect. It's not, you know.
That was sarcasm, Harry.
Oh, fucking dick. Um, I'll say a vet showed me this game at least a year ago. It's probably more, but maybe like 2 years ago. I would see him play it, and I'm like, it's not my thing. Um, and I
This
was,
game,
yeah,
this game makes me want to be the kind of parent who's like, "Why can't you just be normal?"
mm-hmm.
Kidding, Harry. Let your freak flag fly. Keep going with the story. I'm sorry, I
No,
interrupted.
yeah, it was about at least a year ago, probably more like two. But I yeah, I was like, nah, not my thing, dude. I'm not gonna play it. Just go, okay, that's fine. And just earlier this year, he's just like, he started. I guess he started replaying it. And I was like, oh, you're playing the game again? He's like, yeah, I just got back into it. And he started talking about it, and he was like, oh yeah, no, it's like, because I was like, the thing that bothers me about that game, other than the very lewd portraits of things, um, is that like I can't kick my friends' asses. you know, like I can't like show off to my friends how much better I am to them. Um, and that was the thing that's the thing that bothered me about Pokemon Go, right? Like I wanted to like have the
Yeah, there's not
strongest,
a yeah,
like when it
there's
first
not
came
like a
out.
competitive thing to it, right?
Exactly, there's not. Like the only thing you can just show off your ships. That's it. That's all you can do. Like, hey, look at the ship that I got. And that's about it. Um, but in Pokemon, like, I wanted to get the strongest Pidgeotto and just beat the shit out of everyone. But I couldn't do that, and I just
Oh,
stopped playing. I was like, you know what? That sucks, man. I guess I'll just go off and play other games
don't
and
do
kick.
fucking Pidgeotto. Do fucking Rattata.
No, Pidgeotto, best Pokemon in the league. I don't know,
Oh,
but
Tatamorata.
yeah, yeah,
No, no, El Rata Alata.
around a lot. Yeah. So Ship Girls, it's fun, man. It got me going, and the beauty of it is that like it's basically like if you remove the skin, if you peel the skin off of this game, if you degloved everything, um, the structure of the game, the ships are based off real like warships, right? They're named after
Yeah,
real warships.
they're just
Um,
woo-wooed.
exactly. The equipment, like the guns and everything, it's legit. Like they're real guns put on real. Like there are specific guns that you can only put on like a heavy cruiser or a battleship, like and that's like for real. Like a battleship can only hold this gun, right? Or let's say an
Right.
American battleship is not able to have a German gun because it's an American battleship. So it's just that kind of stuff that I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool. And just the way all that worked out, you know, mechanically, I was like, oh, this is actually a pretty legit game. Basically, reminded me of, I don't think you've ever played it, but World of Tanks. I'm sure you.
Fucking Ived wants me to play it.
Yeah, so it reminds me of that because I mean, World of Tanks is like in the nitty gritty is like it does that. You get a legit tank and it's like a legit
Far more,
tank,
yeah, technical.
very technical on what the tank and how it works and everything, and the stuff you put on it, right? How well you make it, and whatever. How you upgrade it is actual upgrades to that tank, and so on and
Mhm.
so forth. It's very detailed when it comes to that. This game is also that for warships, right? It's just
Just
how do you
replace it with fucking kawaii fucking people.
exactly? They're like, okay, how do we make money with this free to play game? And they're like, let's put lewd girls over these ships. So let's have them anthropomorphous. I can't say the word.
Anthropomorphize.
Anthropomorphized. They did
There you
that, and they're like, the event showed me the quote of the actual like game developers saying like this, like we're like putting super lewd stuff on here because we know people are going to buy it, and that's what they want. That's what the people who play this game want. They want super lewd skins on these ships who are like anthropomorphized women, and people are paying for it. That's how they make their money. And so people like Aved and I, um which before it was only Aved, um like are okay with that because like, well, you give us a really good me- like game with good mechanics for
Mm.
free. I don't have to pay a dime, for this game. I still haven't. So I'm like, that's cool. And you guys aren't gonna like force us to buy anything because enough people are buying skins, very lewd skins for their ships. It's like that's how they make
Yeah,
their
you
money.
didn't pay for it with money. You just kind of traded your soul a little bit,
Just a little. I had to sign an agreement. It's fine.
fucking in blood.
but, but yeah, that's been my week. Um, Mark, can, can you hear my voice? How has your week been?
Oh God. Harry, let me tell you how my week has been.
Please tell me.
I'm employed.
Congratulations.
I know, right? Yeah, that's great. Um, yeah, I'm employed. Uh, it's weird. I've been used to essentially manual labor, and recently, working in a law firm as kind of like the clerk, the unskilled guy who's kind of gaining some more stuff, like, oh, now I know how to search this kind of docket and I know how to find these kinds of cases, and being a little more skilled and whatnot. And then now I'm working for a company that I don't fucking understand the premise behind. Like, service industry. We make food, you take food we make and give to angry white men.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go to the law firm. We represent people who get burned and break bone at work, and you scan papers of them saying that,
Yeah.
or motor vehicle or property. But
Mm-hmm.
that's beside point. Um, and then I start working for this business. I'm not going to name the business,
Yeah.
but it is a a freight broker or a supply chain broker, transportation broker. Now, if you don't know what that means, that's okay. Neither do I. Um, so this is like an entire world that I knew existed, but did not know the scope of.
Mm.
Like, it's not like there's one fucking tanker ship from, that they borrow in every movie and just use to sail all the world's fucking cargo. But like, they're either obfuscating like the basic premises of how supply chains work, or like this is just a really overly complicated process. Anyway, what they do is they have a company or a person, rich person probably, or something, and they need to get cargo from point A to point B. Oh, you're like, oh, so the company doesn't have its own ships. So what you're saying is the company that Mark here works for, they have ships, right? And like you contract them out, and they put the cargo on their. No, no, no. See, the company I work for does the logistics. So they handle stuff like bills of lading, which is a fancy term for like loading and transportation.
Yeah.
And they handle the logistics like, oh, you turn here at Orion's belt. They oversee like the timing, the scheduling. They essentially like trim the fat
Mm-hmm.
off of transportation. They find a way to get like multiple ships and so on and so forth. They essentially take we're gonna make the shipping process easier for you. Oh, you have the ships? No. Oh, do we deal directly with you for anything like? No. No. We just make it easier for you. You call us, you call the shipping people, you do that. You tell us to make it easier for you, and we make it easier for you. I don't know how. I have no idea, but we do. So it's my fourth day there, and they sat me down. They're like, welcome. And they strapped me into a chair. Uh, I still have the tape and some of the glue from my eyelids to my forehead. And they
Wonderful.
had me still continuously go through 8 hours a day of training videos.
Clockwork Orange
And
style.
yeah, basically, I can't enjoy Ode to Joy anymore. No, jokes aside, they have me fucking sitting down in this empty, like Ponzi scheme looking fucking office on the top floor of some fucking building. Um, and this place has been fucking cannibalized. Like there was a TV, now the wires are just hanging with the fucking frame just jutting
Nice.
out. There are rows of those mechanical or electronic adjustable tables, and fucking there are like 3 people in my row out of like 10 of them, and there are like 2 or 3 like managers or whatnot doing their thing like on the other side of the fucking it's weird. It's fucking
Mm-hmm.
weird. I'm sitting there and I'm learning about fucking bills of ladings, and I'm learning about fucking Inco terms. Yeah. Which are terms of liability and responsibility between like the buyer and the seller.
Mm,
They're
okay.
like, this is what it means, or this is when uh, responsibility transfers over to the buyer, or this is when it transfers over to the seller. Like, oh, if it's mid transportation and you're docking or loading cargo, and it's all very boring. Trust me. What makes it so much more boring, though, oh, trust me, is the amount of corporate jargon that's in
Mm-hmm.
there. Oh my god. This would be so much easier if they took out all of like the mission statement bullshit.
Mm.
All they have to be is like, this company do this. What's a BOL or bill of lading? Oh, it does this. Da 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 da. And like, someone really needs to get in charge of their like training, because they've got like 15 different styles of video that don't adequately convey what the information they're trying to convey is. Like they have a title, they have sections. It's like, oh, that's great, but then like the reading stuff is fine. It's very digestible. It's short, a little
Right.
time consuming, but short. But then they'll do videos where it's like they have a bunch of important stuff plastered, and then something that you think is important, they just do voiceover for, but they don't plaster it on the PowerPoint, which for me fucks me right the fuck up because I'm like a professor. Can you go back to the slide and repeat exactly what you were saying about
Yeah.
what's already on the slide? Like, I can take notes on something about reading. I can even take notes about something if it's being narrated and I can still see it. But like, you're fucking with me when I've been for like 3 or 4 hours, by the way. I've been taking notes about what I've been reading, and then something really fucking important goes in one ear and out the other when I don't see it and it's not confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're fucking with me there. Um,
Bastards.
so there's that, and I feel like my head should be firmly planted violently into the wall.
Firmly
Uh,
grasp it.
Firmly grasp it. The first 2 days was nothing but like reading, and I sat there shaking violently after every no. Um, I was pretty fucking drained. I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
lie. Uh, I don't like tap out or crash like
Right.
abruptly, but this shit made me crash abruptly. Um, you and Stace were like, "Yo, why don't you bring fucking a pen and paper and talk to your manager?" I didn't do the manager talking, not yet, but I brought
Mm.
the pen and paper, and that like cut the pace down by like a fucking turtle's pace.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to just snap my head backwards immediately sitting down into the chair. But it's pretty
Makes
disheartening
sense.
when you're like, oh yeah, I put all this effort into like a couple of fucking tutorial bits, and then you're looking at like the enroll learn options, and they're just like an endless cavalcade of just jargon that doesn't make any sense. Like, yes, here's the information on this or that or da 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 da. It's just oh god, and some of it overlaps. It's just You know what's bad though? I
Yeah.
could take I could take the fucking no, I couldn't. This is hyperbole. I could take the fucking Clockwork Orange bullshit. I could
Oh.
take it. I really could. But the moment I realized I was in an actual company, like corporate, like company, like a fucking company,
Yeah.
was when I just heard people just talking about their job. Like I had people, so the managers are to my left. They're like 30 feet to my fucking left, away from us, and
Mm-hmm.
I got the other fucking people ahead of me, in the beside the windows and all that in the rows. The
Yeah.
fucking manager's like, man, I heard about that casing case and the man, you really messed up or whatever. Wow, these fucking people. Oh. And it just sounds so toothless.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got the fucking other people who were closer to my age, and they're like, "Oh man, I can't wait to get done with like fucking. We have nothing but Urkels in this fucking office. Oh, I can't wait to get done with this fucking case without the fucking because
Yeah.
they're. Mm, mm.
Mm.
I swear to God, Harry, if the new office has a fucking water cooler, I'm gonna hang myself.
Fucking
It
water
is so.
cooler.
I feel so out of place. I just I just want to shout like cunt like every 5 minutes
Yeah.
into the fucking heavens just to like just to pucker a couple anuses. Not it's not like I say it on the regular. I barely say that fucking word. I'll say it for comedic value or when I'm imitating Carl Urban from fucking uh the fucking diabolical show, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But like it's so amazing. Just realizing that that culture exists like the oh man I can't wait to settle this case. Oh, are you excited about the next one? I hear they're shipping, a couple kilograms of. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, just give me a pencil sharpener or a pencil and I'll sharpen the fucking pencil in my eardrum.
Mm.
Oh. So yeah, work is fun. But what's even funner
Yeah.
is because everyone knows that I'm kind of a sack of shit. So I'm finally actually juggling school and work, and that shit is once I finally get it, I'm sure it'll come together. But man, if I like fucking go to sleep like a little too early, or fucking don't read enough, or I put one thing off, it just fucks me right up,
Yeah.
right the fuck up. And oh man, ugh. I'm not like the structure guy. I typically do stuff when I do it.
Yeah.
But like, man, I need some fucking structure. No, I don't really need that much structure. I'm okay. I'm okay. It's just disheartening. I feel like a caged bird.
All
But
right.
anyway, it's gotten in the way of some of my reading. It's gotten in the way of some of the fucking I actually, Harry,
Mm-hmm.
uh, started picking up painting again. So you
Oh,
all get to hear about all of the half-hearted progress I've been making on everything I've been doing.
fantastic.
I've finally primed and zenithal highlighted my
Mm.
Tau army. So I'm gonna
Tau.
once I get a steady paycheck going, I'm actually gonna buy the proper paints
Yeah.
for the armor and all that, and I'm gonna try doing that. And I'm actually gonna try building a diorama around it. A friend of mine that I've reconnected with
Mm.
actually. I was telling him about it. He's being the fucking supportive son of a bitch he is like,
Mm.
dude, I've totally got some cool ideas that could help, and we could totally like help you with your imagination or innovation block. So
Oh,
that's pretty positive.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, but that's not the bit that I wanted to talk about. What the fuck did I want to talk about? Other than the soul crushing, just brain oozing thing that is this job that I don't understand or know what I'm doing on. I've actually been playing Weird West. Well,
Weird
was
West.
before the job started, but
Yeah.
yeah, it is an isometric action RPG from the
Mm.
founder of Arcane Studios. He left, and now he has his own little tiny mini studio, and he made this game during the fucking pandemic, and it's actually not bad. And I'll talk about it a little more during the rest of our thing. But
Okay.
yeah, fun stuff. I did some of that. Again, I've been playing some Deus Ex. Fucking love it. Uh, I absolutely fucking love that everyone's fucking passwords are just lodged somewhere in a fucking. It's great. It's so. Uh, I'll talk about that for a moment, and then I'll be fucking done. Um. So what breaks my heart is no. Lost my train of thought. So you play J.C. Denton. He's a
What?
fucking nanobot augmented human, and he works for UNATCO, which is like the legit United Nations police. And they're based in New York, and fucking too much power and authoritarians, and you're just starting out, and your brother has been with UNATCO for a while, and he seems to be working with the bad guys now,
Oh.
but he's got a reason
Ooh.
because at the moment I haven't gotten much farther. Atco, keep on the down low, seems to be working for an organization called Majestic 12.
Oh.
Yeah, but what's even fucking more cooler than that, I swear to fucking God, Harry,
Yeah.
is my fucking brother died.
Oh.
And I didn't even fucking realize I could save him.
Huh.
And the story just continues with him dead. It's fascinating. This is 2000.
Yeah.
2,000, and everyone was fucking creaming their pants about fucking Megaton like 9 years later. Oh my god, it's so amazing. Like the bit where he dies, I swear to God, I thought you didn't have a choice on.
Yeah.
Like it's a fucking. I mean, it sucks that like I don't think they conveyed that all that well because I didn't realize the extent of the choices. Like there's a
Hmm.
bit before that where you have to take a plane that's hijacked, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And the guy who hijacks the spot or is responsible or owns it and he's using people to guard it. You could just go up to him and he's like, "Oh, I won't fight, but don't kill me." And the cutscene fucking ends right there. And if you leave, your fucking trigger happy ass bitch coworker, not coworker, partner is like, "You're a bitch," and then cutscene ends. And if you walk away, she fucking kills him.
Yeah.
But fucking spoiler alert, I didn't even fucking realize you can actually fucking kill her and stop her from doing that.
Oh.
Fucking amazing. Fucking amazing, Harry. Fucking
Yeah.
amazing. It's so good. I did not expect, like, I get that there's jank with like everything that's old, but if I'd had known that a game like this fucking existed and that I would enjoy it so fucking much, I would have played this game so much sooner.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
I get it. There's jank and there's whatnot and shit and bullshit. But like the game is challenging in a way that is so rewarding for me. And finding out that you can do shit like this is so goddamn cool. And just sneaking around and being rewarded for fucking pressing on a fucking brick and it opening a fucking uh secret compartment where you can get extra fucking goodies. Oh god, Harry,
Yes.
I need to tell you about the pinball machine.
There's a
The
pinball
fucking
machine.
pinball machine. So I'm at this airport and I take out some of the bad guys and I'm
Yes.
you can interact with stuff, you can break pretty much everything in the game. So I interact with this fucking pinball machine and I hear like some grinding and I turn around and it fucking opens a cabinet.
Hmm.
They don't fucking tell you. It just opens up a fucking cabinet. And then I go to the cameras and I'm clicking the middle camera and they're like, unlock door. There's no fucking door in that room except for the cabinet. And I click the door and it opens the fucking cabinet. There are multiple ways that you can open this stupid fucking cabinet. It's so great. And they don't tell you. It's not like you fucking bump into some dude before
Yeah.
the main area and they're like, oh god, I have a thing that I need you to get for me. Can you get it? Can you get it? And you fucking it's there because of the marker, and you just click on something. You're like, oh wow, that's cool. It opened. It just
Yeah.
fucking god. I love it. I'm enjoying the game. Anyway,
That's good.
what are we talking about, Harry?
Um, we could delve deeper into Weird West since you brought it up already.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So keep in mind, work will probably stifle some of my progress. And I'm
As
fairly
always.
certain there's a massive amount of content that I have not quite even tapped properly because I just told the main mission to go fuck itself. Um, that being said, at the moment, you play as a female bounty hunter law woman, uh generic. I buried my martial star or my bounty hunter stuff and I gotta pay the price because my past has come to haunt me and my son died and I have to go rescue my husband, and that's it. Like the fucking game starts 30 seconds later, you're moving your character and doing shit. They do like a slight little free tutorial kind of where it's
Okay.
like, while you're doing this, hey, why don't we, move you along? But pretty much everything is available right from the get-go to do. Um, go into towns. It plays a lot like Fallout. You the main loop is you're on a map with a bunch of locations, and your
Mm,
icon travels to whatever location that you click, and that causes time to pass.
okay.
And you can go to that location, but on the way you have a chance of having a random event. Like, oh, you were accosted by fucking wolves or fucking Yeti people, uh, and so on and so forth. Oh, by the way, this is fucking the West if like cults and werewolves and fucking demons and shit existed. So it's really fucking fun. Uh, so yeah, that map mechanic plays a lot like Fallout, the first
Hmm.
Fallout.
Yeah.
Very fun stuff. And then uh, basic kind of some like inventory based stuff, stealth combat, weapon combat. How would you describe where if you're playing on the mouse, it's like movement and then you use the mouse to like use line of sight? That
Huh.
sounds stupid. Like oh god, that sounds
Uh,
so stupid. You use the it's so if it's isometric, you're using
Isometric.
the
Nice
top down
terms.
or 45-degree angle.
I'm gonna agree with you. These
Diablo,
terms are.
Diablo.
I guess. Uh, I guess
So
top down. Yeah, that top down
yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah,
you
that
would
makes
use
sense.
the left analog stick to move around,
Mm-hmm.
and then you would use the right one to aim in like a 365-degree circle, right?
Okay.
Where
Yeah.
it's like instead of like first person or necessarily third person, you're controlling this person that you're looking down from 45-degree angle, moving with the left stick or whatever on computer,
Yeah.
and the right analog stick kind of like pivots them in like a you know a circle or so on or so forth, and you can shoot that way. You have a variety of weapons, um, armor, and so on and so forth. Very fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Very fun. I'm always of the mind that you should just be able to kill everything if you wanted to, and
Yeah.
I might do that. I might just nap,
But,
save one of my games, murder everyone, and then load up and just be like, "Hey, person, how you
dude,
doing?"
killing everything is so much fun.
I like that. I like you're dissuaded from doing that, of course, but uh, still fun, still rewarding.
Yeah. No, agreed. Cool. So, I mean, okay. So this game just came out, right?
Yeah, actually,
Okay. I'm on the website now.
February.
No,
Wait,
it's not so long.
no, March. Fuck, March 31st. There
Oh
is
wow.
some
So literally like a week
issues, in
ago.
my opinion. I think
Hmm.
some of the stealth and theft is way too easy. Way too easy. I
Mm,
steal like a motherfucker. I have access to so many like things that it just does not physically make sense.
mm,
But I still enjoy it. It's so fun using some of the high tier weapons against people. I'm not a fan of the bow and arrow too much, but it's a very powerful weapon.
yeah.
Um I'm trying to think of stuff that I take issue with. It feels a little bit like Skyrim where it's like you could just grab unnecessary bullshit. Uh Most of it's just junk that you could just sell for like pennies on the dollar basically.
Hmm.
Um Upgrade systems, skill trees, not necessarily skill trees, more like an upgrade system. It also looks like you can play as multiple characters, which is pretty interesting.
Yes.
And there's some meta quality. When you play the game, there are some people who actually talk to you.
Okay.
And I don't mean like the character, I mean like you.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I don't mean like, oh, hey, friend, press X to jump,
Yeah.
press X to double jump, and press, X square to fucking attack. No, no, no. I mean, like, they're like, oh hey, you're in this body now. What's going on with that, friend? That's kind of cool. Uh,
Oh,
so that's kind of interesting.
yeah.
I haven't really touched the main story yet because I absolutely love, not storying.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm
Yeah,
really
it
enjoying it
looks.
so
I'm looking at the website. Yeah, it looks interesting. So, yeah, there's the bounty hunter. There's the pigman. There's the protector with the bow and arrow. There's the
far.
werewolf, and there's the. Oh,
Oh yeah, werewolves are fun. Those fuckers scare the shit out of me. Someone will just fucking like take cover and then just fucking turn into a werewolf and just start lunging towards me.
that's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and then there's the
Yeah.
Onerist, whatever. They and it's got future seers set to change what's coming before the sun sets. That's what they described
Yeah,
it.
it's weird. They're like a prominent cult within the uh within the West, within the weird West.
Within the weird one. That's cool. I mean, I probably won't play it. Um, but I gotta because I do see that it's for the PlayStation. I don't know if you said and it went over my head, but is it free to play or is it you have to
Yes, it
purchase?
is.
It's free to play. Okay, so maybe, maybe.
Yeah, good.
I mean, free to play is always something to look into because you don't have to pay for anything. You just pay with your time. Um,
Yeah,
so I mean, if there's like a
subscription
co-op,
based, so it's completely free.
yeah, if it's a co-op or like if the
Oh, if it was,
multiplayers,
I'd be playing in a fucking heartbeat.
yeah, I feel like we would definitely be playing that. Maybe because you said there is a multiplayer, obviously, right? Um,
No, no, no,
no,
no. There is not, sadly.
no multiplayer.
No, I'd be playing that shit in a
So
fucking
so
heartbeat.
it's just straight single player.
What? Yeah. I
Okay,
think it probably helps with the role playing if that's the case. But
yeah, makes sense.
God, now that I think about it, it'd be perfect because it's like you can just save people in the
Mm-hmm.
like through your travels, and they'll be like, "Oh shit, hey, that's pretty cool. I'll join your posse." Like, or you have a friend whenever you need one, and it's like whenever you get into a fucking gunfight, this fucker will just randomly appear and like, "Hey, what's going on?" Oh,
Mm-hmm.
so
Okay, cool. Like yeah, it would. It does remind me of Diablo. Obviously, the top down and also the way like things are reminds me like Diablo esque, but obviously Weird West. uh, so
Mhm.
that's pretty cool. Yeah, if there was a way for me to play with friends, I'd probably bring this up for a game night. Be like, yo, guys, Mark showed me
Oh
this
yeah.
game. You know what I mean? Like, so.
It's Yeah, they do. They have a fun little mechanic where it's like Mad Max, or not Mad Max. Jesus Christ. Um. Oh, that was bad. Uh. Oh my God. You can lunge, bullet time. They invented bullet time. It was the
That
shooter.
was that was oh Max Payne.
Ah, thank you. Fucking back injury. Bad.
Yeah.
There we
No, no,
go.
no. I was like Mad Max. Yes.
Uh. Yeah. So they have kind of like a lunge or vault ability where you can like jump and you freeze, not freeze, you slow down time and you start fucking shooting people super fast. That's super fun. And you can do a thing where you can explore with a posse, like 5 or 6 other people that you have on your side. So
uh-uh.
that's kind of disappointing now that I think about it that you can't quite do that.
Yeah, it really is. But maybe because it just came out literally a week ago, it could be something that will be brought into the game. If enough people, I like obviously they probably released it as a like okay single player game, but I'm sure down the road they're like, well, people seem to be playing in. The majority of them want to be able to play with their friends because I think it, it's unless a game is specific for um single player, like let's say what's the recent Horizon Zero Dawn
Yeah,
or whatever,
Forbidden West.
like the Forbidden West, like that one is strictly single player because they want it to be strictly single player, which is fine. God of War, I'm sure that's going to be single player, perfectly fine because they are more story oriented, right? But
Right.
this game seems more of like a it could have a multiplayer aspect behind it, because
I can see it.
that's what most people want these days, to be able to play with their friends, because that's someone is sitting in front of a computer, uh, is most likely going to want to be able to play with their friends, um, and it's just one of those that's kind of a given that, I mean, you expect people are going to want to do that. So I I wouldn't be surprised if they come up and really release it to be able to be played with friends. So
That'd be fun.
yeah,
Oh
and
yeah.
it would be fun. It looks fun. Like I said, it does remind me of Diablo for sure. Just all the West. The the I'm gonna call it the Deadeye mechanic. I'm sure that's not what it's called, but the
No,
Deadeye
that works.
the
I like
Deadeye
that.
mechanic. I'm not sure how you would incorporate that in a single player,
Hmm.
but I would have to look into what's the fuck. What is it called?
Max Payne.
No, 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 no. The following game. Fuck. Red Dead. Red Dead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Red
Red
Dead
Dead.
Redemption.
Red Dead
No,
Redemption.
I'd like to talk about the more impressive film, Red Dead Revolver.
Yeah. So Red Dead Redemption has that's where I got the Deadeye mechanic from. But I know Red Dead 2 is more multiplayer oriented.
It's
Um,
more life focused.
yeah.
It's like I was saying before, I think with Rockstar, where it's like I feel I feel like this game feels way more like a life simulator. It has all these
Mm,
things that you have to keep track of that feel less like a game and more, like I said, like a life simulator. Like, oh hey, you have
right.
to eat, you have to shave your head, you have to fucking take a shit, you have to worry about your weight, you have to worry about how you're perceived. Like, I get it. Some of that is important for a role playing game, and that is the
Yeah.
essence of a role playing game. Like, you're playing a role. But I don't know. It just takes it way too far for me to enjoy.
Okay. Yeah. I agree with that aspect because yeah, it reminds me of San Andreas. It was
Yeah.
there's just too much RPG involved, and I'm like, I'm not playing D&D. Like I'm just trying to run around and be an idiot. Um, and yeah, Red Dead 2. I haven't played it yet, but I can imagine they try to incorporate that and stuff like that. It's just one of those where they tried it, obviously it didn't work out, but it is what it is. Yeah, this game looks fun. I will not play it until they release a way for me to play with my friends though. And honestly, like I said before, that's just how I look at games. Can I play with my friends? No. Then I might pass on it. It's can I play with my friends? That's the number one thing I look at. Number two, is it free? You know,
Yeah, I know
because
you tend to be more like, if I'm gonna play something, either it has to be something that I really genuinely
mm-hmm.
like, or something that I can get enjoyment from playing with my friends.
Yeah. Like if I can play with my friends and it looks like a good game, I'll pay the money. I don't care if it's free. Um, but if it's a free to play game and it looks good, I may go into it myself, right?
Hmm.
Um, because I'm always looking for that perfect game that I can play, and the only one that I can do that with is like Final Fantasy VII. But again, there's no I can't play with my friends kind of thing, right? So
Yeah.
So yeah, that. Um, so it's just one of those where it's like, well, we'll just keep looking. Just we're just gonna have to just keep finding new games to play, and hopefully one of them comes up where it's perfect for me.
Fuck.
But yeah, dude. So yeah, I as soon as they announce multiplayer, let me know, and I'll hop on with you.
All right. All right. Well, I'll hold my breath.
Yes. um. So I'm gonna talk about Magic the Gathering. Um.
Ooh.
There's a new set that has come out. It's called. I hope I have this right. New Capenna. I, it's okay. So it's New Capenna. Might be pronounced differently. I could be wrong, but it is based around the Roaring Twenties. A lot of mobsters, and just that's the art style.
Lobster
That's
goblins.
Yep, basically. A lot of demons as mob bosses, which is interesting because I've never seen. Where is it? There was one that they released. Ah, here we go. Uh, a cat demon that is the colors of red, green, and white.
I don't
I had
care. Got green. I fucking hate it.
I have not seen a demon with any other color except for black or red.
As
This
it should
is
be.
Yeah. So cat demon, there's a sphinx demon with black, white, blue, and then a vampire demon noble with blue, black, red. Uh there are more demons, I promise. Ah, this one, bird demon, green, white,
Ooh.
blue, and then there's a demon dragon with black, red, green. So every main mob boss is basically a demon of some sort. And they do one of basically the so these colors that uh I know them as like so black, red, green. I refer to it as Jund because in the original Shards of Alara, that was one of the shards.
God, you
Jund,
fucking nerd.
yeah. So they're obviously based off those colors. And honestly, the Alara shards aren't the originals of these like three colored cards. The originals are of Elder Dragons back in like antiquities or something like that, like really early
Yeah.
Magic. I don't know them by that name. That's pre me getting into Magic. So is Shards of Alara, but when I got into Magic, that's what they're calling these colors. This combination of colors, right? Um, like I'm sure people who didn't play like well, there's another trio of colors in when did they start adding trios? Oh, Kanto Takir. Those are the newer colors, and
Uh-huh.
that's what people call it now. But I still refer to it as the old Shards of Alara because that's what I, you know, got into it. Yeah, it's mob boss style. They are actually, which is nice. So Wizards of the Coast has this weird thing where they like to make a cycle of lands. So you know how like if you make a cycle, usually there's a combination for 10 possible cards to include every color.
Okay.
Um, but usually they only add 5 cards per set. So they've, for some weird reason, they like to do 5 of those colors and then never make the other 5. They do that a lot. There's a lot of unfinished what they call land cycles. And it's annoying because some what they call ally colors have more access to different lands with the color combinations than the there's ally and then enemy colored lands. So they actually finished the cycle with this new set, which is nice because it if people don't know, Esper is my favorite, which is black, white, blue.
There you go.
Yeah. So they finally added the Esperland in here, but it's not called Esperland. Obviously, it's called Refine's Tower. Whatever the lore behind that, it's that. But it taps for white, blue, black, and that's nice because that's those are the colors that I run a lot of.
Yeah.
Mhm. And so they finished that cycle, which is nice. They added new charms, which if you don't know what charms are basically instant spells with 3 options, or basically options. You have options, right? And they actually did 5 different charms, one for each color combination. Um, so that's nice because options are always good in Magic.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So other than that, demons as mob bosses. It's roaring 20s. They added charms. They finished the land cycle. That's basically the gist. Oh, planeswalkers that are in the area. Elspeth is in this area, so you get
Ooh.
to see her dolled up to Roaring Twenties outfits. Um, also, I'll finish with the planeswalkers in a second, but Urbrask, he is a praetor for the Phyrexians. He is apparently here in this area or this new plane. Um, and if you don't know about the Praetors, they are 5 basically like big big bosses. One for every color. So there's the red one, the white one, the black one, the green one, and the blue one. Did I say blue one? Or there's 5 of them. They were originally all only on New Phyrexia, which used to be called Meriden. And that's where they were first introduced. And then recently, they've found them in new planes outside of New Phyrexia. So the first one that Mhm. The first one that was caught was Vorinclex, which was the green one. He was in Kaldheim, which is a Viking based set. And then they recently found what's it? Jin Cataxian in Kamigawa. In the
Ooh.
past set. See, he's the blue one. So now there's Urbrask. He's in this one, and he's the red one. So the only ones that, yeah, the only 2 that we haven't found or they haven't mentioned yet is Elish Norn, which is the white one, and Sheldred, which is the black one. So I'm sure at some point we're gonna find out where they're at. And this is the theme right now. Phyrexians are being thrown throughout the universe, and it's that's not a good thing because Phyrexians were the big bad guy in ancient lore of Magic the Gathering. So them coming back is a big thing, which was kind of figured it was going to happen sooner or later, and here they are. So continue on with Planeswalkers. I don't know if you know, but who Ob Nixilis is.
I know who fucking Bobby Nichols is.
Okay, Ob Nixilis is in this world.
Jesus.
Not sure why,
that fucking.
but he's here. And
Oh, does he have a suit on?
he does have a suit on.
The suit that like fucking gets torn from all the fucking shit he has on.
You would think so, right?
Right.
So Ob Nixilis is in town.
Must have a great tailor.
And he actually is black red this time instead of just mono black. And also Vivian, a green planeswalker. She's been in the Magic store recently for the past. When did she get thrown into the? I think maybe Magic 2019 or 2020 or something like that was when she got introduced. So she's a newer planeswalker compared to like, Jace and Liliana and everyone. She's definitely newer. And that's it for now. They have added some cards. I have some opinions, but honestly, they're not really worth anything because I don't play Magic as much as I used to. So I may think a card is powerful, but I could be completely wrong, and I could be talking out of my ass, which happens. Um,
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, I've been out of touch a hell of a lot longer than you, and I just looked
this
up
is
on
true.
fucking EDH Rec for new decks, and I'm just like,
Oh, but hey, guess what? They also added new cycle lands here, which is nice. So the lands enter tapped, and you could tap it for one of two colors. So there's one for green white, one for blue black, one for black red, one for white blue, and then one for green red. And these are the ally colored. So
hmm.
there's a circle, and all the colors are in the circle, and the ones next to each other are allies. So these are allied colors. The problem with this is they may never finish this cycle, so they may never
What do you
make
mean?
the other colors. So if you
Uh,
notice, there's no black white land here. There's no uh green black land. What else? There's no. Basically, there's missing colors here, right?
is that
Um.
intentional? What the fuck is going on?
So like I said, they purposely only do either ally or enemy colored lands first. And then sometimes they just never finish the cycle. Uh, they've recently finished a cycle that has been out for a very long time. Um, so it seems like they're going back and finishing all the land cycles that people have been complaining, like, hey, we kind of want the other colors too, you know. So that is the downside. So if you see a new cycle, which is really, like, this one's really good. So it enters, right? Enters the battle tapped, and you finish reading the card. Taps for one of the two colors, and you tap two, so two generic mana, and then a one of each other color. So it's 4 mana in total. You tap it, sacrifice the land, and you draw a card, which is nice because later in the game this might be a useless land for you. So you just have it there, use it a couple times, and if you're like, I really need to draw a card, you can pay the mana, sacrifice it, and get another card. So you can. That's actually really really good. I actually wouldn't mind having these for commander, especially for commander. When you can
Mhm.
get flooded with lands, you can sacrifice it for extra card draw. That's good. I just hope they can maybe you know finish finish it, because I don't really run a lot of these colors. Like, I really run black white a lot.
Mhm.
So, and that's an enemy colored. Those are enemy colors. So I would hope at some point they maybe would be nice enough to make that land happen.
Trust me,
But
I'm even worse than you. I'm like an Orzov fucking Azurius fucking. That's it.
mhm, which is fine, totally fine. But yeah, that's the new set. These are there's not a lot of cards that have been released. There's a few. The See, I wish I can sit down and read, because there's new story being released with Magic, and they're finally, like, they're not doing the whole book bullshit like they did with War of the Spark. They're actually just releasing it on the internet for free, which is nice. Um, but I just haven't been able to sit down and read. So I'm really behind on Magic lore, which kind of sucks because it can be really good.
Mary Jesus.
Mm-hmm. But that's it. So new set, Roaring Twenties. There's planeswalkers running around. That's it. Any thoughts?
I got a job, man. You want me to fucking catch up on shit? Fuck you.
Got it. So, speaking of
I'll
catching
catch up
up,
as best I can. With a friend like you, I'll absolutely be able to catch up.
um, speaking of catching up, Moon Knight. So
Ah,
I literally just watched episode 2. Um,
all I've seen is episode 1. Don't fucking spoil.
okay, so episode 1. I'll just say, off of episode 1, I'm intrigued. Um, the
Right?
thing that bothers me
Oh fuck! Oh no!
The thing that bothers me about this show, but it might just be, like, oh, it's for the plot, right? Or I don't know, right? It's just like when I see this person, they're like, oh, I'm like, I end up randomly in places when I sleep. Like, how long has this been happening, right? I need to know how long this has been happening. The other thing is, like, I know it's probably not the best thing to self-diagnose, but like, you can probably guess that you're fucking possibly bipolar, you know? So it's like, can you just like if this girl's like, oh, let's see you at, our date, on Friday, and he's just like, I
And
didn't,
just has what he believes is a fucking dream about being a fucking hitman.
yeah. So, and then he's just like, oh yeah, nope, see you on that date. It's like, okay, you know, you didn't ask her out. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, why would you go along with that? Like, it's just one of those like obviously,
Man, don't fucking question it. God damn it.
but okay, but obviously that's just me. But it could
Yeah.
someone else could not be thinking the way I think, right? That's why I think, okay,
No,
so
yeah, I
yeah,
get you.
so
It
so
it feels like they're. I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but it does come across as like, okay, maybe he could, kind of get the picture now. But
yeah,
he comes across as someone who I don't think is probably considering that. And I
yeah,
mean, it's like we're talking about someone who isn't, the typical hero, right? He literally
right,
is.
right,
The beginning of the show is literally this guy who thinks he has like some kind of sleeping disorder, but can't
mm-hmm,
seem to like get what he wants out of life, right?
yeah,
Like, you know, even the date that he didn't make for himself, doesn't go through.
yeah,
He's very much living the ass end of other people's lives.
yeah,
So I enjoy that, and I don't necessarily mind like, oh, why doesn't he get that he is dissociative identity disorder? Like,
mm,
wow, or something like that. Uh, but I do understand where you're coming from. It's like there seem to be a couple of scenarios where it's like, oh, so he has this very vivid, what he thinks is a very vivid dream where he's
yeah,
inhabiting some other persona, right? Where it's like, oh wow, I'm in fucking Latveria, uh, running from fucking mercenaries and some cult leader.
mm-hmm,
And then he wakes up and then realizes that, like, oh, thank God it's not the case. And then the first thing is like, oh, fuck, wait, did I fall asleep? What was going on? Like, I think what's going on is they just didn't particularly communicate that, like, I think what's going on in his mind is like he wakes up and then he fell asleep again or he lost time again.
right,
Like, it's not like, why me missing 2 days has to be related to, me being a super spy. I'm sure, like, what he thought was this is a dream, and I lost time somewhere in between waking up and the date, right?
yeah.
At least that's how I see it.
Fair enough.
But
The other thing
go ahead. I want to hear you. You're on a roll.
I thought Kevin Bacon was Ethan Hawke's character, and
What the
then
fuck?
Livy's like, I was like, oh, it's Kevin Bacon. Livy's like, what?
Ethan Hawke is a million times better than Kevin Bacon.
I'm not disagreeing with you or agreeing
A
with you
Hawk
because I
eats
have no idea.
Hawks eat bacon, Harry.
Hawks, I'm pretty sure Hawks do eat bacon. You're right.
Yeah,
Either
good
way,
fucking
what the fuck is Ethan Hawke been in? I asked Livy and she was kind of like,
Gattaca.
Training Day.
Training Day is good.
Oh
King
yeah.
Kong ain't
Oh,
got
he was in
shit.
Gattaca. He's the one
Yeah,
who's the person who wants to go to space.
yeah.
Oh
He's Vincent.
shit.
Yeah,
Alright.
dude. He's been in a bunch more stuff, but like, I think he's taken a lot of pride in being a an actor who gets to kind of choose the roles that he wants. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you know, I'm not quite in the spotlight the way that like where it hampers other actors. I really am a good actor. I'm really talented at what I do, and I'm really grateful that I get to like
Yeah.
I get to pick the parts that I want. That's kind of what I get when I think of Ethan Hawke, where it's like exactly what I just said.
Yeah. I didn't he's
And
also
fucking funny enough, Oscar Isaac was the one who talked him into the fucking part because they're neighbors.
oh, that's awesome. It's
So
fucking
good.
kick ass. Um yeah, I just
Hey neighbor,
realized
can I borrow some sugar? Sure. Can I be in Moon Knight?
he was in the I don't know what to call this trilogy. It's Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight. Um
Really great bits. They were shot over a duration of time.
yeah.
No, that's the romantic one. No,
Yes.
fuck, I
Yeah.
always forget them. He did two like bits, I think, or a couple of parts where it was like, now I'm fucking forgetting. He did one movie that got a lot of praise where it was shot over the span of like 10 years,
Yes, that's that
and
one.
then he did yeah, and then he did a romantic trilogy, which is like a 10-year thing too,
Oh,
which is
okay.
like or at least I don't know if they're the same thing or not. Where he falls in love with a woman, they're with people,
Yeah.
it doesn't work. Then they rekindle it, and then the next one is when they're married, and it's a really cute, it's a really good story, well written, really well acted. Ethan Hawke is God damn it, if he's not such a fucking underrated. No, he's not even underrated. He's just a great fucking actor.
Mm-mm. Fair enough, man.
Oh,
I
here's the Daybreakers, the greatest movie of all time,
Daybreakers.
where
Uh,
vampires have become the population of Earth, and
oh,
there's
that's right.
short.
Yes,
Yeah,
I remember that.
it had that fucking kick-ass trailer song.
It has fucking
Sam Neill, Alan
Willem
Grant,
Dafoe.
and yeah, him too.
Yeah, he fucking bursts through he gets in a car accident, bursts
Yep,
through the fucking front windshield.
so good. And then he's no longer a
He's
vampire.
no longer a fucking vampire. That's fucking fantastic.
So good.
Oh yeah, I'm looking
It
through
just
yeah, dude, fucking yeah, holy shit. Rainy days, yeah, Hamlet, look at that shit, dude.
you know what he
Fair
actually
enough.
did. I'm not a big fan for
Oh, Dead Poets Society.
biographical films,
Yeah,
but he does one where he plays John Brown.
John Brown.
The I think it's the Bird, the Lord Bird or something. It's one of the later. It's one of the newer things that he's done, where he plays the fucking radical. No, he just plays the abolitionist.
Hmm.
Oh, it's so good. Watching like I said, I'm not a big fan of like biographical stuff, but watching him do actually, as soon as we're done, go on, look up the Lord Bird or fucking I don't know. Look up John Brown, Ethan Hawke, and just
John
watch
Brown,
him
Ethan Hawke.
fucking go off the rails. It's so good.
John Brown, Ethan Hawke, for sure.
Because John Brown, I think, was the only person executed for treason.
Oh,
Yes, John Brown. I believe this is off the top of my head. I promise.
hmm?
John Brown was executed for treason because I believe he infiltrated some kind of. Oh God, I can't fucking remember. The United States military killed him because he had attacked a military base. I think he was inciting a slave rebellion, It's so good. Watching Ethan Hawke play him as like this guy who thinks he's touched by God to inspire rebellion. I am the great John Brown, and God has bestowed upon me clarity. It's so good. It's oh man, I don't give a shit about the show. Watching him just like spout off being a fucking religious zealot for fucking anti-slavery is
Mm-hmm.
so fucking I get a kick out of it. I don't know what it is. He has this huge fucking beard. He shoots people.
I
Oh, I can't.
see it.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'll break my fucking biographical fucking streak with this show. I don't even get no. I don't even give a shit about the show. Anyway, we're off fucking topic.
Are
Ethan
we?
Hawke night is okay.
Yeah.
Oscar
Um.
Isaac is good. Memes about his fucking accent, but you know whatever.
Yeah. I mean, accents are accents. I can't do accents. Weird or weird.
Leighton skaters.
Yeah. That's
Harry,
on.
Harry, you want some sprinkles?
Dude, that's honestly something that Livy pointed out really quickly. It's like the very generic English lingo.
I
Like,
thought he was fucking South African.
or I guess
Like the
whatever.
moment he was like, "Why did you call me Mark?" I was like, "Wait, is he doing a South African? What's going on here?"
It's just the
Oh,
the
I'm from
English
London. We
the
don't say that.
lingo. Like
Yeah.
what were you pointing out? Cheers.
Oh, there's a lot.
Yeah, the
I
like
don't know. Like
Cheers.
I know that was said a lot. Like
It's not even that. It's
in
just
a
the
month,
accent.
30
It's like the tone.
yeah, but Livy was pointing out there's like at least in the first like few minutes he said like at least 10 different like generic English
Yeah.
lingo.
Colloquial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, huh. I mean, not wrong. There really was a lot of that. But
like
yeah.
made me more.
Yeah. It made Livy basically like it was a fake accent because of all the lingo.
I'm not saying that's like it's not.
Yeah. I get you.
Hmm. Oh sorry.
Apparently, there's another one in the second one that's just used wrong.
Yeah. So I mean
Wagwan.
I
Wog.
mean whatever. I mean it's now he's gonna be talking American English because that's he's he's playing Mark with a C.
Mark Spect. God, I hate people.
Yeah.
Oh God.
um
If I
but yeah.
could hate someone for one arbitrary thing,
Mm-hmm.
it's Mark with C's.
Mark with C. Um so yeah, Moon Knight, cool. I'm gonna keep watching. I'm intrigued. I like uh the whole like obviously these can be more like ancient Egyptian kind of lore. So
Hmm.
I'm intrigued to like to watch it, but also see how they implement that
Yeah.
to the Marvel universe.
Oh,
That's
I'm not gonna lie, Harry. I love that this fucking show
mm-hmm,
is so out there. I love it. Keep in mind, this
mm-hmm,
show is based on a character that has no prior like movie, show, or mention. I
yeah,
love that.
mm-hmm,
I love it. We introduced a whole bunch of fucking people through Loki and through fucking Cap and
yeah,
fucking Bucky and fucking Wanda. Nope, I don't give a fuck. Even fucking the new Hawkeye was introduced for the old Hawkeye.
yeah.
This character completely unfucking heard of for a lot of people and just randomly fucking introduced, and I love it. I fucking love it.
Awesome. Yeah.
I'm sure they'll do something with it. Apparently, Oscar Isaac does not have a contract with Marvel, so like they could
Oh,
do anything with the character. Like, oh hey, he dies, or like, oh hey, we could set him up for a possible sequel or something. But
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
I don't even.
because
I honestly wouldn't mind if they just found a different actor too. As much as I like Oscar Isaac, like I wouldn't want him to be stuck to another franchise.
yeah, I mean the cool thing is that maybe spoiler alert. I'm just gonna hold that back because I think that information is in episode 2. So I'm not gonna say shit. So I'll just hold that back. But it's cool information. Yeah, I'm excited. I liked episode 2. I'm ready for the next episode. And this is trying to look it up. How many episodes is it supposed to be?
What, 6?
I think so. Episodes. It doesn't. Oh yeah, 6 episodes. Yep.
I like it. I like that the stuff that they've been doing
Mm-hmm.
with like the English theater have been kind of fun, you know? Especially with how they introduced the Black Knight, Black Knight, Moon Knight. I get like a mystic, like British Isles kind of superhero group
Yeah.
vibe that I'm interested in, and they can introduce a whole bunch of stuff like Union Jack and Captain Britain.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking bullshit. There are a shitload of fucking villains from England too, and all that. I'd be interested to see where they go with it, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
I like it so far. I'm probably gonna watch the next episode this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, cool. Well, so that's the end of the list in front of me. But I did want to.
Oh.
Man, I was driving home. I want to give. I want to give a shout out to two probably very famous people who I'll never meet in person, but they do great work on YouTube videos. And I know it's not them making it, but it's a team doing it. Neil deGrasse Tyson and Jon Stewart. Neil deGrasse Tyson does this thing where he just talks about science for like 10, like, depends how long, what the topic is, but like around 10 minutes, right? Like today's topic, he was talking about the time-space continuum, right? Where he was saying like, for, you know, two people to meet up, like if I ask you basically like, hey, let's meet up, you know, like let's hang out tomorrow at 5, right?
Uh-huh.
Like what would be your response to that?
See you then.
Okay, you didn't. Basically, it's where, right?
All right.
Like the thing is, there has to be a time and a place, right, for two things to meet up.
Bear,
And that's
I'm still on fucking COVID culture.
yeah.
I thought we'd just be hanging out over the fucking. Come on, man.
So that's the point, though, right? So like in this space time, like Albert Einstein's theory of space and time, like there has to be a time and a place, right? Because if you think, he also went into like time travel. If you time traveled, like you know, let's say 200 years in the future plus 6 months, you would die of asphyxiation because the Earth is rotating in a different area. So if you're at exactly that same spot 200 years from now, you're not going to be on Earth. Earth is going to be somewhere else. So that's why like the whole like time travel thing is a little, you know.
Harry, stop ruining everyone's fucking favorite science fiction premise.
But and that's what he was talking about, right? And he was saying like nowadays because of Zoom and everything, it's like there doesn't have to be a a place because you could just see and talk to people, you know, it through Zoom, right? You know, like there's no
Yeah.
like it's just a time. Hey, let's hop on and chat at this time, like we do for the podcast, right?
Yeah.
And I also learned, and he informed us, the reason why on telephones, it's called a call or someone is called a caller is because before phones, when someone knocked on your front door, they were called a caller.
A gentleman calls.
Yes.
I call on Gondor.
Yeah, exactly.
And Rohan.
Rohan. But yeah,
Rohan.
so That's
Okay.
Neil deGrasse
You
Tyson,
want,
right?
you want another bit of trivia?
Yes, please.
Did you know the original term for an actor was a player?
No,
You know?
that's pretty badass. I did not know that.
I thought you were gonna be like, oh, that's slightly less interesting.
No, I mean, do you know why it was player?
Because they're playing a part.
Ah, that's. I wonder when
Yeah.
it got changed to actor.
I don't know, but interest abounds.
Yes. And going over to Jon Stewart, he retired from doing things right a while ago.
Oh yeah.
Because he just didn't want to deal with it anymore, and I respect that, dude. There's some bullshit happening in this world. But he came back and started a show on Apple Plus, called the
What's wrong with
problem.
John School?
Yeah, the problem with Jon Stewart. Yeah. Um, and I he basically does something similar to what another person I should be shouting out is John Oliver. Uh, he his weekly thing is great, like the stuff that he delves into. Jon Stewart does the same thing. But what I like about Jon Stewart's thing is after his show, what he does is he gets like on a Zoom call with someone who wants to talk about the show itself, like whether he messed up on something or they have a different view, a different opinion, or whatever, and he sits down and talks with them. I think that's fucking brilliant. You know, it just has kind of like a discussion slash debate, like one that was really good. Um, fuck. It was about basically like recycling, like how recycling doesn't work. And the person was discussing saying like it's not that like recycling does work. It's just
Mhm.
recycling plastic doesn't work, right? So if you recycle cardboard, paper, metals, glass, like that all works fine. Recycling that is working perfectly fine. That works. It's just the plastic doesn't work. So because his whole thing on that episode was like plastic's a waste of time. The root or the problem with recycling is that we're still making things that can be
More of it.
recycled, right?
Yeah.
So that was the issue, right? You need to hit the problem at its root, not like at the end because it's still happening, right? So,
Mhm.
which makes sense, right? Like, I think their discussion wasn't to 100% disagree with Jon Stewart. It was more of a you're you're downplaying recycling too much, where it's like, yes, plastics aren't being recycled correctly. It's most of them can't even be recycled or reused. I agree with that, but paper and metal and glass are do work. They work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was really cool. Um, and there's other things, right? Like right now, I think one that I'm watching is just like the episode is called "The Problem with White People." It's just like his discussion of how um like white people I'm trying to remember
Careful, Harry.
yeah right uh our one our one listener no John Stewart talks about our the problem with white people and like how um not all of them can like see that there is a problem with the system, right? um
Yeah.
I think it goes into the discussion with how like, oh, I didn't own slaves, so I'm not a problem, right?
Right.
Which is true. That now Aved was telling me that like most, I guess, white Americans have immigrated from Europe after slavery was already abolished.
Yeah.
Um, so that makes sense. But at the same time, John Stewart's thing is but there's still systemic racism. Like the
Yeah.
systems in place are to help white people and not anyone else, right? And then it's just a lot of like white people who don't get that. They're saying, "But I didn't own slaves." Like that's not the point, right? It's like,
It's pretty, yeah, it's an impressive like blame game where uh, the PR has shuffled everything off to the individual when that's not what the argument is. The argument
exactly.
is that like we're not gonna tax you. We're we're not gonna be like, hey, was your great 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 granddad Jedediah Johnson?
Mm,
You got to pay him. It's acknowledging the what happened, and it's not even like they're gonna give like fucking one person like a check for $1 trillion. Like
right.
there are significant things that you could do. Personally, I think you should just invest it in the local town,
Mm-hmm,
or
mm-hmm.
like it's like you don't give like a dollar amount to people. You just
Yeah,
invest it in the city, in the town, to enrich that neighborhood,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
or to do what you can. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know enough about it. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I'm too fucking stressed to
Yeah.
even research it
No,
more
no,
than
no,
I
it's
was ever. But I actually wouldn't mind discussing the topic of like reparations and white fragility,
yeah.
as the fucking lib Robin DiAngelo brought up.
Yeah, I really like how Jon Stewart is going about this stuff, right? Sometimes he can be aggressive. Like I actually sat down and watched about an hour and a half of him talking with Senator Booker. Is that his name?
Yeah, Cory.
Yes. He sat down and talked with him about you know that problem, right? And oh, man, like it was great because obviously Jon Stewart he knows his shit, right? this fool knows his shit. And so he comes up and he's talking to him like, and he knows what he's talking about, but Booker was able to make very, very valid points. And Jon Stewart came out of that conversation like, okay, you make valid points, you know,
Mhm.
like,
Oh yeah,
like, Booker didn't agree with Jon Stewart, but he says there's a better way to think about this. There's a better way to look at this, and at the end, like Jon Stewart, like was like, you know what, like I still think the way I think, but I can see your point, and that's his. I think that's what the point of this is to be able to, I guess, either agree to disagree or just show him like there's it's not just one thing, right? It's not just one way.
right.
So I think that's really good. Like I
Yeah,
it's just like I'm not very political, not very into all this, but I love to hear like this stuff because it's just knowledge that I'm learning. Like I didn't know all this. Like that's good. Like how do I explain it? I remember I was sitting down and talking to someone and I told them like I'm your generic American. I don't really watch the news. I don't pay attention to things. I kind of have enough things happening in my life that I'm distracted. I'm not really paying attention to the world. I'm not paying attention to our own country, let alone the entire world, right? So it's like
right,
this kind of stuff helps me get more involved and see what's happening, right? I still
right.
feel the same way about the world, but it's like now I know more. It's more fuel for me to be like, yeah, this world's gonna burn, personally. Um, but it's I think they're good, doing a fantastic job. Like another one that they did was was talking about the media, like
Mm.
the how cable news networks work, right? How they only care about ratings instead of like proper you know um
Journalism and
yes,
journalistic integrity and whatnot.
exactly, like they look, oh well, I know this is like an actual story, but the thing is people don't want to see that, like
I think, yeah, I think another issue, because it's not as if a marketing person is sitting at the desk of some reporter. Like I'm sure, like there is still a high threshold that like an article needs to be put out to exist.
Yes.
I mean, there is. I would absolutely trust like a major news organization like fucking New York Times or the Wall Street Journal, even with fucking Bezos as the owner,
Yeah.
than fucking One American News or some asshole on Twitter who did some research. Like the thing is that there is still training in place. I
Mhm.
don't agree with where that training is or where people take that, as we've seen with fucking the shit that's going on in Ukraine.
Mhm.
Uh, the media seems to be a little fucking blood hungry
Yeah.
lately, bloodthirsty,
Mhm.
hungry, fucking.
Yeah.
But I still ultimately value the fact that they exist. I just don't appreciate the fact that they're for profit and
Yeah.
that interferes with some of what they're doing. Yeah.
Mhm. And it's one thing they did bring up because he did a post. The thing that I like is the post episode like interview, like, or the post episode discussion. Like he grabs a random person, or maybe not a random person, right? But he gets someone to have a discussion with after the episode, you know, so they can see the episode and be like, okay, like I agree with this. This is actually wrong. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like they have their own perspective, whatever. I really like that. He also has like a sit down with his own writers to discuss things about the episode. Like, what am I going to bring up? What's this? And they have an actual discussion about it. And I really like that. So if you ever want to just like watch any of that, it's on YouTube. It's the problem with
Yeah.
Jon Stewart. It's I really like it. Like, you know how you
I'll give
usually
it a look.
like there's a few things on YouTube that follow, like the Late Show with Stephen Colbert and John Oliver. Like they come up with multiple videos. I don't really watch all of them because I just picked the ones that I want. Right, like
Yeah.
with Jon Stewart, I'm usually watching every single one because I'm just like they're all really good. Like it all has information and a really good discussion where I don't feel like you have it. Like one of the videos was literally like him and three other white people and just discussing white white supremacy in the system, and
Hmm.
and they all had different viewpoints. You know, one person was basically saying like there is no white supremacy, right? He had someone there with that, and yeah, like at the end of the day, like he says, you know, like he respects him, right, as a person, but you're wrong. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's cool. You know, to be like be able to have a discussion, like, hey, dude, like, can you explain why there's no white supremacy
Yeah.
in the system here? And they weren't able to give a solid answer, right? They're saying like
Mhm.
he agrees that there needs to be better education, um, for for kids, but like the reason behind it is just like, oh, because um you know minorities, like they have like broken families and all this, and it's like, but why is that?
Yeah.
They're not answering the why. They're just saying, oh, it's because that's their culture. Like, what do you, that makes no sense, right? Like, how is, like, whose culture, right? Like, whose culture? And then why is it like that? Because that's not normal, right? So it's like, why is it that way? Like, and he has no answer, or he blows it off, says like, no, 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 like this and that, blah blah blah. Like, of course, he's looking at it like, okay, they need better education. Okay, this is true, but why is that? And they don't want to go past that, right?
Right.
Because
Yeah.
they don't have an answer, or they know like because it white supremacy,
They'll be caught up in a slip up. Yeah. And
Exactly. So like I don't know. I just really like how he's managing all of that,
yeah.
and I'm glad that he came back to do this stuff. Like I know he fucking ran away in his farm and was like, I'm done with this fucking shit. And then he just kind of like found out like, no, I need to go back out there because things aren't looking
Yeah.
yeah, so that's cool, man. I just wanted to give a shout out to him. Just because it's good work, dude. It's good work, and it's opening eyes to me where again I'm one of those generic Americans that really don't pay attention anything outside of my own little bubble. so it
I
keeps
get
me going. But yeah, that's ranting
Getting
about
into a
that.
ton now. That's important.
Yeah. Anything?
You bud.
Thank you. Anything you want to just rant about? Just throw out there.
Fuck no.
He said,
I'm
"Fuck."
I'm good. We gotta recharge next week on get some more subjects in that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I have a
fuck
few on. I have a few right here that um, on the list right here that we can towards the end of the podcast if we have dead time. I have things we can discuss. Don't you worry.
Okay.
We have hit that time. It is midnight.
Fuck yeah. I'm fucking exhausted.
Yeah. Fucking let's get some sleep.
I gotta wake up early.
Me
I'm an
too.
adult.
You are an adult.
Fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a man child.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Oh well. Folks. Just fell asleep. No, just kidding. Folks, we love doing this. You know what we love more? When you like and subscribe our stuff. Which is why I want you to go on YouTube, look up Guy Named Harry for some of his content, and Hitting the Mark with Harry and Mark. Like and subscribe both channels, something algorithm and liking the bell and revenue. I don't fucking know. And we have an email. If you want to tell us all your deep, dark fantasies so that we can fucking blackmail you, you can hit us up at hittingthemark2020@gmail.com. And if you have a Twitter or delivery, god damn it, Mark. Anyway, if you want to catch our razor sharp wit and commentary, you can catch us at capital H, capital T, capital M _podcast. One more time, HTM _podcast, folks. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Auf Wiedersehen, assholes.